Alright everyone, welcome back to part 2 of this huge Blu-ray update, so let's continue on from where we left off at. Now these are two newer Blu-rays that I've gotten. I might as well just throw these in there because those are the first ones I saw on the piles. But John Wick Chapter 3 completes my John Wick trilogy. I own the first two already on Blu-ray, so I figured I'd pick up the third one. I got this for $10 at Best Buy. Love this film a lot. Definitely really good, solid entry into the John Wick franchise. And the other newer Blu-ray that I got was Heavy Metal. Pretty solid, like anthology story based on like the Heavy Metal magazine. Produced by Ivan Reitman, has voices of people like John Candy, Eugene Levy. Really good. Harold Ramis has a voice in here. Really good soundtrack. You have bands like Blue Oyster Cult, Cheap Trick, Devo, Black Sabbath, Grand Funk Railroad, Journey. I mean, just a really good soundtrack. Very solid flick. Really enjoyed this film. Now we're getting onto the ones back to I've shown already, but I figured I'd show them again. Hero and the Terror. My favorite Chuck Norris flick, where it's kind of more of a horror film for Chuck Norris, where he plays a guy who's tracking down a serial killer called Simon Moon. But this is a really great Chuck Norris flick. Definitely my favorite Chuck Norris flick. Another Scream Factory title that I picked up, Ravenous. Pretty bizarre film, really good mix of like black comedy and horror and like a western about cannibals. Very great cast as well. Guy Pearce, Robert Carlyle, Jeremy Davies, Jeffrey Jones. David Arquette has a small role. Neil McDonough. Just a really good cast of people. Definitely one of my personal favorite films that deals with like cannibals. Also, Frailty on Blu-ray. Had to pick this up. I love this film a lot. I cannot recommend this film enough. I've talked about this film before many times, but very, very fantastic flick. This is another one from Kino Lorber, like Hero and the Terror, but Link, which this DVD was out of print for years, and finally Kino Lorber had got their hands on it and released a Blu-ray, where it has the deleted work print scenes, has an interview with the director, a commentary track. So, really cool that Kino Lorber got their hands on this. It's a really fun Killer Monkey kind of like flick. I probably still say my favorite's Monkey Shines, and then that's probably second. Another Shout Factory one, Southern Comfort. Definitely one of my personal favorite films from the 80s. I love Southern Comfort. Really good cast as well. Basically, it's pretty much the same plot as Deliverance by John Borman, but I like this one better. You have people like Powers Booth, Keith Carradine, Fred Ward, T.K. Carter, Brian James, Peter Coyote, directed by Walter Hill. And this is a really good release from Shout Factory because it has brand new interviews on here with Powers Booth and Keith Carradine. Is before Powers Booth, of course, passed away. I love Powers Booth as an actor, really good actor. Fun creature feature flick here, The Relic. Had this on DVD, but it was kind of scuffed up, so I picked it up in HD. And it has a better cover. I like that. It's the original theatrical poster. I love that cover with the red. But really fun creature feature flick that takes place in a museum. You have Penelope Ann Miller, Tom Sizemore, Linda Hunt. Directed by Peter Hyams, who I really love as a director. I probably say he's my favorite director of all time. I love Peter Hyams. House of Wax on Blu-ray. This is the remake, of course, from 2005. One of the more underrated horror remakes. I definitely say it's one of my personal favorites. Pretty good. I like the special effects in the film and things like that. I actually don't mind this cast of people. Jared Padalecki way before the Friday the 13th reboot. Directed by John Colette Serra, who went on to work with Liam Neeson on a lot of films like Non-Stop, Run All Night, The Commuter, things like that. But it's a really fun flick. He also went on to direct Orphan as well. Mikey on Blu-ray from MVD Rewind. I've talked about this film before too. Really fun killer kid film with Brian Bonzel, Josie Bissett, Lyman Ward, John Deal, Ashley Lawrence, Mimi Craven. Pretty good killer kid flick, Mikey. And the documentary on there is really good too. The little over an hour long documentary on the making of the film, which is a really cool documentary. End of Days on Blu-ray. Had to pick this up for the Arnold collection because the DVD copy of this I have is signed by Robin Tunney, who plays the main female in this. But I picked this up on Blu-ray. It's definitely my favorite Arnold flick. I love End of Days a lot. I truly do love this flick. Another Scream Factory title, Willard, with Crispin Glover. I love this film a lot. I probably say my favorite Crispin Glover film in which he's the star. My favorite of his is Part 4 of Friday the 13th because I love the character of Jimmy. But as like a starring role, this is my favorite Crispin Glover film. Love the character of Willard. Also picked up Mean Girls on Blu-ray because I had a full screen DVD of this. But definitely a pretty fun, I guess like not really like a chick flick, but like a sort of like I guess like high school comedy in a way. Of course, had the new Ferris Bueller's Day Off Blu-ray Steelbook because I had a really scuffed up DVD of this, and I just figured I'd upgrade it to Blu-ray. Definitely one of my personal favorite comedy flicks. And of course, the 25th anniversary edition of the Back to the Future films. I got this for $10. Cannot pass that deal up at all. I mean, definitely some of the best films that you can own on Blu-ray, and definitely some of the best films that you can own in your collection. Definitely, I love the Back to the Future films. I love all three of them. Okay, so that was this pile over there. I'll settle that down here. Let me just get the next pile. Zooming in on the camera. Come on over here. Oh, there we go. Oh, oops, a daisy. There we go. Okay. And we're back. See No Evil, Hear No Evil on Blu-ray. It was really cool to own this on Blu-ray because I had this on DVD, but I figured I'd pick up the Blu-ray. But definitely one of my personal favorite comedy flicks. An Innocent Man on Blu-ray from Kino Lorber. Definitely one of my favorite Tom Selleck flicks. I mean, I just love this film a lot. Love An Innocent Man. A pretty good action, like thriller kind of like flick. Another Scream Factory title, Graveyard Shift. Really glad to pick this up, where it has brand new interviews and things like that. Sorry. Red Scorpion on Blu-ray from Synapse. I'd probably say my favorite Dolph Lundgren film. I love Red Scorpion. Pretty much Dolph Lundgren's version of Rambo, pretty much. I think it's a pretty badass flick, and a really good release from Synapse. A brand new 2K scan, a commentary with the director, a brand new interview with Dolph Lundgren, interview with Tom Savini, behind the scenes footage. I mean, just a really good release from Synapse. The Room on Blu-ray, which is pretty cool. The Room, I mean, best guilty pleasure movie ever. That's all I'm going to say about that. Another one from Synapse is Phenomena with Jennifer Connelly. This is a really good release from Synapse because it has 3 cuts of the film. It has the international cut, the USA cut, and I think the UK cut. I think that's what I'm reading here. I think it's the UK cut. It has documentaries and audio commentaries, interviews, things like that. But a really good release from Synapse. Definitely one of my personal favorite Argento films. Just Desserts, The Making of Creepshow, which is another Synapse release. Really good documentary on the making of Creepshow. Another Scream Factory title. Oh, I think the camera froze. I think the camera froze on me.